those structures we'll discuss today. It's quite common in children also as well as in adults. First, we all come across with certain condition like common cold. Okay, common cold, in other words, it's coryza. So we'll discuss something about common cold. Oh. Oh, 4 o'clock. 4. Oh. So, etiological agent for common cold are rhinovirus, coronavirus, respiratory syncytial virus, influenza virus, parainfluenza virus, adenovirus. These are the common organisms, viral organisms which can cause common cold. Number one is the rhinovirus, which is very common. And other are like coronavirus, respiratory syncytial virus, which can cause upper as well as lower respiratory tract infection. Both it can cause. Influenza also can cause upper as well as lower respiratory tract. Parainfluenza, adenovirus. Epidemiologically, common cold occur throughout the year. Especially rhinovirus occurs during August and October and April to May. Respiratory syncytial virus mainly occur from December to April. So there is a seasonal variation also. Rhinovirus more commonly August to October and April to May, and respiratory syncytial virus from December to April. What are the clinical manifestations? As we all know, like symptoms would be sore or scratching in throat, nasal obstruction, generally running nose, watery nose, fever will be low-grade fever, mild cough will be there, and severe body ache like myalgia. Signs: if you examine the nose and if you see the turbinates are swollen and erythematous, and if you examine the throat, see the postopharyngeal wall, you can notice a post-nasal drip. So these are the clinical manifestation of the common cold. Treatment-wise, symptomatic treatment, like if fever is there, you can give paracetamol like antipyretics, 10 to 15 mg per kg per dose every 4 to 6 hourly, depending on the temperature. And topical adrenergic drugs like xylometazoline, the nasal drop you can give. And if the child is more than 6 months or above 2 years, above 6 months you can give some antihistaminic like fexofenadine. Above 2 years you can give levocetirizine or cetirizine above 2 years of age. So these are the antihistaminic you can prescribe for common cold. And antiviral therapy is not available for rhinoviral infection. Usually for common cold or a coryza, you don't give any antiviral drugs. And ribavirin, which is usually used for respiratory syncytial virus infection, which is causing bronchiolitis, has no role in common cold. Complication: if you don't treat common cold, sometimes it can spread the infection from the nasal cavity through the eustachian tube into the middle ear, like can cause otitis media, can spread to the sinuses, paranasal sinuses, can cause maxillary, frontal, sinusitis. Sometimes it can spread from upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract as In case of respiratory syncytial virus infection, it can cause acute bronchiolitis or adeno or parainfluenza influenza virus, which can spread from the upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract and can cause acute bronchiolitis. Sometimes it can exacerbate the underlying asthma. These are the complications of the common cold. Now we come to the sinuses, sinusitis. Biological agent like bacterial infection like Streptococcus pneumoniae can cause sinusitis. Anopheles influenza, Moraxella catarrhalis, Coagulase negative Staphylococcus. These all can cause sinusitis. So when does the pneumatization of the sinuses occur? If ethmoidal sinuses can present at birth, axillary sinus will fully develop at the age of 4 years of age. Sphenoidal sinus develop around 5 years of age. Frontal sinus usually develop during adolescence. So maxillary sinus usually appear around 4 years of age. So usually below 4 years of age will not have any maxillary sinusitis. In that way you have to know. What are the clinical features of the symptoms or signs of the sinusitis? There will be nasal congestion, nasal discharge, running nose will be there. Child may have got fever, bacterial infection may have got high-grade fever also, may have caused cough, may have cough also, and they may have foul-smelling breath. It can lead to decreased sense of smell. Headache, facial pain, usually rarely used. They may not able to complain, although they may have got headache or facial pain. They may cry, they may have irritability. So they may not able to complain. Sign, periorbital edema. If you examine the nasal mucosa, it will be erythematous, swollen. You can see the pus in the middle meatus. These are the signs of sinusitis. And this is why sinus aspirate culture, accurate method, but nowadays we are not practically used as a routine basis. So sinus aspiration is not, we are not doing. Transinhalation of the sinus cavities, that also we are not doing. Usually we can clinically diagnose with the symptoms and you can elicit the tenderness or the ethmoidal sinus or maxillary sinuses, or you can do the X-ray of paranasal sinuses. It's a bit of mental view you can do. So X-ray of paranasal sinuses, you can see the opacification of the sinus, mucosal thickening, and presence of air fluid level. So if you do the X-ray, that quite a diagnostic one. Treatment-wise, because mostly it is bacterial in origin, so you can treat with amoxicillin or ampicillin or cefalexin. Amoxicillin 40 to 45 mg per day in 3 divided doses or 7 to 10 days. Ampicillin 50 to 100 mg per day in 4 divided doses, 7 to 10 days. Cefalexin around 35 to 40 mg per day in 4 divided doses for 7 to 10 days. Children who fail to respond to initial therapy of amoxicillin or amoxicillin, only plain amoxicillin, you can add amoxiclavulinic acid. You can add clavulinic acid. Complication if you don't treat sinusitis, It can lead to periorbital cellulitis, orbital cellulitis, meningitis, cavernous sinus thrombosis,